I'm Kaylee, and today I'm reviewing Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's short story collection, Around the Fire Stories. This is a collection of short stories that are all about suspense and adventure and mystery. But these are not quite the sort of Sherlock Holmes stories that we're used to. These are all about murder and ghosts and apparitions. It says here, unsolved crimes, diabolical traps, and inexplicable disappearances. Before we dive into this, I want to reach back here to our booktuber shout out book, and we're going to shout out somebody randomly. Today's shout out goes to Milena Reeds. I really like her channel because she does talk about classics and history. I'll leave a link to her channel down in the description, so be sure to go over and subscribe to her. And please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you love a few chilling, creepy stories. These short stories all feature some kind of horrific circumstance or some sort of frightening situation. There are terrifying nightmares and murders and ghosts, and there's a seance. There are several dangerous exotic animals, and a story also about stolen jewels. Each story, even though it's a short story, it gradually leads you into more and more suspicious circumstances until finally the hero of the tale is confronted with some sort of horrific revelation. I really liked the way that the writing gradually just creates this atmosphere of suspense, and you don't quite know what's going on, but you know something mysterious is happening, and it just builds that tension and that suspense to a point where when it's finally revealed, you know, it was a ghost or, you know, whatever that it was, then you get that full effect of the frightening circumstance. These are exactly the kind of creepy stories that I really enjoy because they're not too scary. They're not so scary that they give you nightmares, but it is very thrilling. It's just thrilling enough to give you a pleasant chill in your bones. Some of the stories are not really scary at all. They're just kind of tragic or mysterious in some way. There's unfortunately no Sherlock Holmes to solve the unsolvable crimes. So if there's some sort of mysterious circumstance or an unsolved crime or something, it's usually solved by the timely confession of the criminal. The criminal is on his deathbed and he writes a letter confessing to how he did the crime. It kind of made me miss Sherlock Holmes, actually. I really love Doyle's writing style. With just a few words, he plunges you into this adventure. He really paints a picture of this creepy atmosphere. So the first story is The Leather Funnel, which is about a man who spends the night in a house and has a creepy nightmare. The next one is A Beetle Hunter, about a man who is an expert on beetles, and he is hired to visit the manor house and talk to the owner about beetles. Why would they hire him to just go and talk about beetles? Then we have The Man with the Watches, in which 3 people get onto a train and one of them is dead by the time they reach the next station, and the other 2 have completely disappeared. And where did they go? Why did they kill that guy? Why did he have so many watches in his pockets? Why did the dead man have like 12 watches in his pockets? Very odd. The one that I think I liked the least was A Pot of Caviar. So this is about some people who are in the middle of a war and it looks like their side is losing. They are being besieged in their tiny little fort and they just don't know what to do. And this one was just really tragic. It just made me really sad. The next one is The Japanned Box. A young man takes a position as tutor to 2 young boys. And their father, the employer, is very mysterious. He never lets anyone go in his office, and he keeps a locked japanned box. And what mysteries could be in the box? I really liked this one because once you figure out what's in the box, it's actually very cool. The next one is The Black Doctor. This is about a doctor who is brutally murdered, but then somebody receives a letter from the murdered man, and they're trying to figure out, is he alive or is he dead? There's the corpse. So what's going on? The next story, Playing with Fire, is all about a seance. And they have a seance and they inexplicably awaken something from the beyond. That one was just really weird. But it was interesting to see a story from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle about a seance, because he was famous for being all involved in seances and trying to reach people who are dead and all kind of weird things. So kind of interesting to see his viewpoint in that in a fictional story, maybe kind of exploring what he thought was possible. The next one is the Jew's breastplate. There's a museum that has these ancient Jewish artifacts. Let me see if I can find the name of it, because I know I'll say it wrong unless I look at it carefully. Okay, it's the Urim and Thummim. I think I'm saying that wrong, but it's this jeweled plate that belonged to the high priest in the olden days. And now it's kept in a museum, and an anonymous note has been received by the curate of the museum saying, you better watch out because thieves are trying to get into the museum. I felt like the solution of this one was kind of obvious, but the details were interesting, so I did like that one. The next one is the Lost Special. So someone hires a special train to be like an express to get them somewhere very quickly, and then the special disappears. Like, it goes through a few stations, and then between this station and the next, it disappears. How did a train just disappear? That one was a crazy one. The next one is the club-footed grocer. Grocer or grocer? I'm not sure how to say that. The guy sells groceries. What can I say? So there's a young man whose uncle is a grocer, and he has a club foot, and he calls on his nephew to help him in some very mysterious circumstances. I like this one. It has all kinds of like smuggling and pirates and things. So that one was very adventurous. The next one was the sealed room. A lawyer meets a young man who has made a promise to his father that he would not open this particular sealed room. And then once he reaches the age of 21, he can open the room. What mysteries lie within? This one was pretty gruesome, I have to say, but it was definitely exciting. In The Brazilian Cat, a man goes to visit his cousin at his grand estate, and this cousin is all about zoology, and he has all these exotic animals that he keeps on his estate, and one of them is a beautiful black panther. The panther appears to be somewhat docile, and it is kept in a cage, but of course there is danger lurking in the shadows. Then I read The Usher of Lee House School. A man gets a job teaching at a boys' school, and there's only one other teacher there. The teacher is just really rude, and he seems to have some sort of hold over their employer, the owner of the school, and he's mean to the boys and he bullies his students. This teacher is just trying to figure out, how does that guy even have a job here? Why has he not been fired? And it seems like he must be blackmailing the employer somehow. The next one I read was The Brown Hand. This one is really strange. So there's a ghost, and the ghost is looking for his lost hand. So the hand had to be amputated when the ghost was alive, and now he's haunting the doctor who amputated his hand, and he wants his hand back. It wasn't creepy because it was just so ridiculous, and this one was really fun to read. The next one I really hated, it's called The Fiend of the Cooperage. So I think this is set somewhere in South America, and these people stop their yacht at this little hamlet in order to get food and water. They find out that anybody that keeps watch or stays up to guard at night, they disappear. They're gone the next morning. The solution of it was really simple. I'm not gonna say what it was, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I did not like the solution because it creeped me out, because it plays into a particular phobia of mine. And so I was just like, no, I don't want it. I hate it. Go away. I don't like it. But if you didn't have that particular phobia that I have, then you might enjoy it. The next one is JELLAND'S Voyage. This is about two clerks who embezzle money from their employer, and when their employer says that he's going to be checking their accounts and checking, the books of the business, then they decide it's time to get out of town. So those are all the stories from Round the Fire Stories. Some of them just mysterious, some of them really creepy, all of them exciting, all of them really well written. I just love Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's writing style. I enjoyed this so much. I gave this collection of short stories 4 stars. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know what are some short story collections, classics especially, that you have really, really enjoyed. I feel like the short story itself is an art form. You know, people that can write long novels sometimes do not do well with short stories. You have to really have a command of language and be able to get it really concise and have that quick little plot that can be resolved quickly. I feel like I want to read more short stories now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.